Hello, everybody. Jess Lois with SBCA with a special Friday edition of our weekly update. Yesterday, I was traveling back from the Boston OQM and could not find quite enough spot in the various airports that I was in to do a message that wasn't going to get interrupted or something unexpected happening. Anyway, great to see everybody in Boston this week. It was a great OQM, as most OQMs are, but this one I think is going to stick out as one of the tide-changing events for our association and just how we conduct our OQMs. Now, with that, before I get too far into this, I just want to congratulate one of our team members, Allie. She welcomed a new person to her family this week. She had her baby, so she was not there, but was very well represented by staff. She had planned out a ton of this in advance to going on leave. So very proud of all of her efforts. Thank you, Allie. Congratulations. I've seen a couple pictures, very wonderful, very precious little boy there. So with that, back kind of to the Boston OQM, we had a great showing, a number of people. I mean, I think our registration was at 140 and, we had a few no-shows with some COVID and a couple different things, but overall it was a lot of people. But we were able to get engagement. And that's one of the things that we really looked at the last OQM and how do we drive engagement? How do we get people interacting with each other? How do we get the best ideas out of them? And in a big room with just a few people talking, looking at PowerPoint was not the way to do it. So what we did is we did breakout sessions where it was 7 to 9 groups and a lot of different things that could have gone a lot of different ways. But overall, they were very positive. And by positive, I mean the results, the interaction, getting the feedback from all of the different people that were in attendance. It's a lot more difficult to hide in a group of 8 or 10 than it is in a group of 100. So that's the cool thing about it. We want everybody's opinion. We want to try to meld it all together and do the best absolute performance we can do for SBCA. And we got a long ways with that this week. I went through a lot of the notes yesterday and today, and there's a lot there. And it's a cool thing. That's the nice thing about the feedback from the members is we try to meld it all together and do what we can. And, obviously it's kind of like steering a huge cruise ship. You don't get exactly where you want to go for each individual person, but if enough people say the same thing, it goes in the right direction eventually. And that's kind of where association work has always been about and what I've compared it to in a lot of different ways. But, one of the biggest things was our Strikeforce breakouts and trying to understand where have we been the last 3 years with our Strikeforce and our strategic plan, because that's coming up at the end of the year. And what do we do for the next one? Do we just update it? Do we do something brand new? We got a lot of good feedback there. Specifically, what were the tasks? What were the goals? Did we meet those goals? Do they need to continue? Do they, or is things changed? We got a lot of that feedback, which we're going to be able to fold into what we are going to be doing for the next strategic plan here coming up. And that's one of the things I'm going to be working on between now and the end of the year, along with BCMC. Beyond that, there was a lot of fun had, and that's always another thing too. A lot of people come from all over the country, and obviously it's work, it's business. We are doing the business of the association. We appreciate that. Hopefully you're able to benefit on your own personal business and, the things that you work on, getting insights, advice, and, a little bit better things to do. But it's also nice to have some fun too. And one of the things we did differently this time is we had a baseball game. Fenway Park in Boston is probably, I don't know. I went to 2 games this week. It's been a minute since I've been to Wrigley. I love Wrigley, but Fenway, I think, has got a soft spot in my heart now, despite them being the Red Sox. And, I'm a Twins fan, but overall, it was a lot of fun. We were at the Coke Deck for 2 nights and tremendous service. It was great view, great vantage. You got to look out over the monster. You got to see the Guardians and the Red Sox play. A lot of good baseball, and I think people just enjoyed it. It was great weather. We did have a little rain delay, but the Red Sox team handled it really well. And I mean by team, the staff that put everything on. Beyond that, we also had a session at Lucky Strike with some, probably just a kind of more of a cocktail, get to know you hour. A lot of pool, some darts, some shuffleboard, and just again letting our attendees, because when there's over 100 people there, it's hard to get around to everybody and, create some sort of a relationship or form that friendship, or at least try to understand who the folks are from all over the different parts of the country. So that was one of the really cool things that we got to see there. The camaraderie, our staff, minus Allie, was all there, which had been a while for us. So it was good to see everybody and have the interactions. And, overall, this OQM, I think, is going to be one of the paradigm shifts for the association. We're going to understand what to do in future OQMs. It won't be exactly the same, but there'll be pieces from this that carry forward. We're going to always have to assess the situation at each OQM and try to drive the most value, get exactly what the association needs, provide what we can to the members, both that are in attendance, but the ones that, enjoy the benefits of the hard work of the volunteers that do come out and do the work there. So beyond that, this week, make sure if you are still with me and you've not registered for BCMC, do that as soon as possible. Sunday is technically the cutoff, but I'm guessing by close of business today on Friday, you're not going to be doing much more tomorrow or Sunday with that. So don't forget to get that early bird registration in. Same for Framer Summit. If you've not registered for that yet and you're thinking about it, it's time to make a commitment and decide that you're going to be in Columbus this fall, or actually here in a couple months, for BCMC and Framer Summit. We're looking forward to having everybody there. It, as much momentum as we gained out of this OQM, we're going to continue right into BCMC. I'm expecting a lot of people. They're going to be fired up. They're excited to be back in person. There's a lot of good things to celebrate in our industry. There's some changes obviously going on, but overall, it's a good time to be a component manufacturer, to be a framer, to be a supplier to those folks. It's a good time to be in the construction industry. We need to, capitalize on that, learn how to do things better, figure out what machinery, what equipment, what tactics you need to be doing for your business, get those into your, into 2023. And despite a little bit of changes in the market, I think you're going to be successful. Beyond that, and it seems like it was so long ago because it was Monday, but we had a great presentation from Francois at FEA, Forest Economic Advisors, on the lumber and kind of what it's doing. And a lot of good insights there. Now, it isn't all doom and gloom, as some economists might have you believe, with, GDP and all those numbers. It was actually, there's going to be a step, I don't know if back is the right term, but it's going to come back a little bit. But the long-term, metrics, everything is looking really well there for housing. So beyond that, again, register for BCMC. Great to see everybody at the Boston OQM. And till then, peaks up, press on, and we will talk to you again next week.